All right, Shalom. All praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashmi Awashai, double honor to the apostles, and the elders of the great millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. I'm coming with another GMS news and prophecy. Just dealing with the times that come ahead. Okay, World War III is near its climax. All the chess pieces and all the moves that these different countries, militaries, these different geopolitical moves are being put into place, and that's just going to further establish and manifest prophecy in the earth. Okay, now I have a couple articles I'm gonna go into. Not too much reading, but just go into these headlines and just show how the steps of World War III building up is coming to its head. One of the major things that has to happen is Israel leading America in the World War III. Okay, these false Jewish Israelis, which are known as Amalek of the nation of Edom, they're going to lead Babylon the Great or America into war. Okay, the final war, that last war, which is known as Armageddon in the scriptures. Okay, and this is something that the apostles of GMS have been teaching for a number of years, and it's finally showing its face. It's finally coming to fruition. Okay, so I had this article here from Newsweek, and the headline reads, "A war between Iran and Israel is only a matter of time," and that's true. All right, there's a video circulating on YouTube where it speaks about the different countries. This is around the year 2000, 2001. The different countries that America and its allies wanted to invade. And I believe the last one was that they wanted to go into Iran. Okay? Iran was on the agenda for them to go in and take the resources, of course, establish a central bank, and finally have that foothold in the Middle East. Okay? So they can establish their new world order, and Esau could solidify his birthright. Okay? So, according to prophecy, Israel and Iran and America, along with Russia, have to go to war. And that's going to lead to World War III. Okay? Like I said, it says a war between Iran and Israel, and it's only a matter of time. All right, now I'm going to read this. It says, in the United States, discussions of Iran have for the last few years been mostly about the JCPOA, the nuclear deal negotiated by President Obama. It says in the Middle East, things are different. This is because while we have been debating, Iran has been acting and Israel has been reacting. All right. It says Israel has struck sites in Syria 100 times in the last 5 years, bombing when it saw an Iranian effort to move high-tech material to Hezbollah in Lebanon. Last month, Israel bombed the so-called Scientific Studies and Research Center in Masyaf, a city in central Syria, a military site where chemical weapons and precision bombs were said to be produced. All right. It says, now there are reports such as this column by the top Israeli military analyst Alex Fishman and the newspaper Yediot Ahronot that Iran is planning to build a military airfield near Damascus where the IRGC Revolutionary Guards could build up their presence and operate, and that Iran and the Assad regime are negotiating over giving Iran its own naval pier in the port of Tartus. And that Iran may actually deploy a division of soldiers in Syria. Such developments would be unacceptable to Israel, and it will convey this message to Russia and to the United States. Russia's defense minister would soon visit Israel, after which Israel's defense minister would visit Washington. So you see the major players, all right, being established by what Iran is doing and basically building up its military in Syria, outside of Iran, and having Russia and his allies back it up. All right, now I'm going to go into the scriptures, all right, and I'm going to get this prophecy, all right. This is Ezekiel chapter 38, verse 2. It says, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him. And say, Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. And I will turn thee back, and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, and all of them handling swords. Now this is the military buildup of Gog and Magog, which is today modern day Russia. Okay, because Russia has been once again reestablishing its Soviet USSR spirit and reestablishing its military as a top superpower on the earth. It's not just America. And in the process of that, it's making deals and alliances with the nations around it, such as China, Japan, okay, North Korea, Iran. All right. Now this is what it says. It says Persia, which Persia is Iran. Okay. Persia, all right, is Persia is the old ancient name of Iran, which was changed later in the 20th century, okay, to Iran or Iran after the Shah of Iran. And that's why you have the country named Iran today. All right, but it says Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet, because they're all going to be a part of this alliance that Russia's amassing over there in the Middle East. It says Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah, the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So Russia is basically a guard, all right, a defense guard militarily to all these different nations over there in the East, the Middle East, and Asia. Okay? And Israel is seeing that, and as they try to establish their foothold in Syria and the U.S. as well, okay, they're going to make a move. They're going to strike. Okay? So let's go to the next prophecy, all right, that I wanted to get. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah. I believe it's the 48th chapter. Matter of fact, I just do the search. Here we go. All right, Jeremiah. All right, this is Jeremiah 49 and 20. It says, therefore hear the counsel of the Lord that he had taken against Edom. All right, which is the so-called white man that's mainly established here in America, abroad in Europe, as well as over there in the land of Israel. Okay, Amalek. All right, it says, and his purpose is that he had purpose against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. And the least of the flock of Edom is the Amalekites. Okay, those Jewish rats, man. They're going to draw out America into this war, and that's going to be the beginning and the end, all right, of America and those Amalekites over there. And that's going to be the war of Armageddon, all right, in the Middle East. All right. It says, surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. Because according to prophecy, nuclear missiles are going to be shot, which China has now just developed a hypersonic nuclear missile that can travel anywhere within its range within an hour and destroy its target. That includes America. And they're doing deals with Russia. All right. North Korea is developing missiles. So once Amalek, once these so-called Jews begin to go into Iran, that's going to be it. Okay. Verse 21. The earth is moved at the noise of their fall, at the cry of the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea. Because that's where the war of Armageddon is going to take place over there in the Middle East, where the Red Sea is located. Okay? All right. So let's go back to this article. All right. So let's hear. It says previous Israeli efforts to get Putin to stop Iran during Netanyahu's 4 visits to Moscow in the last year have failed, which suggests that Israel would need to do so itself. That's why the prophecy says the least of the flock shall draw them out. Because the other Edomite nations, Russia, America, all right, they're not doing anything about Iran because Israel needs those resources that Iran has over there. They want to establish their own nuclear program, and Iran is in the way. So they're saying, well, if you're not going to do it, we're going to do it. Okay? So it says, would suggest that Israel will need to do so itself alone, unless the new Iran policy being debated inside the Trump administration leads the United States to seek ways to stop the steady expansion of Iran's military presence and influence in the Middle East. It says that remains to be seen. Rumors suggest that the Trump administration may label the IRGC a terrorist group, which is Iran Revolutionary Guard military. It says which could open the door to using counterterrorism authorities to stop its expansion. And that's what they're going to do. Because these are the Israeli Mossad, the U.S. CIA is going to set up a false flag attack, blaming on Iran, and that's going to lead America into another war in the Middle East. All right, let's get this article here. Matter of fact, let's see. Well, yeah, but this goes hand in hand. This is global. This is from globalresearch.ca, right? And it says Israel's imperial ambition in the Middle East. Israel preparing for all-out war to vanquish Hezbollah. All right. It says another brutal war in the Middle East between Israel and Hezbollah is inevitable. Hezbollah remains a difficult adversary to defeat for Israel's expansionist plans in the Middle East, which is the ultimate goal. An important article published by Global Research in 2013, Greater Israel, the Zionist Plan for the Middle East, detailed Oded Yanan's plan, a strategy for Israel in the 1980s, translated by Israel Shahak, outlines what Israel needed to do to become an imperial power in the Middle East. So this is what they want to do. Okay? Now it's going to go into Iran. It says there are several obstacles preventing Israel's long-term plan to become a regional power, including the Palestinians, Syria, Lebanon, and the grand prize Iran. All right, we detailed this in the last article. See, all these articles you hear about and you see them, but if you're in the spirit, you know how to put the pieces together for World War III and what's to happen according to prophecy. You can see the pieces coming together, brothers. It says Iran is a major obstacle for Israel. However, in order for Israel to declare war on Iran, with U.S. backing, of course, that's why the prophecy states, the least of the flock shall draw them out. Who? Babylon. It says Hezbollah needs to be eliminated. It is an extremely difficult task for the Israel Defense Forces to fight on multiple fronts, especially against a well-armed militia located on its northern borders with Lebanon. In 2006, as the world knows, Hezbollah defeated Israel. During the war, the New York Times interviewed an Israeli soldier at the height of the conflict and admitted that Hezbollah fighters is highly qualified. All right. Right. So you can see they're looking to go and take down these opposing forces in the Middle East. Okay. You can see it says the Greater Israel plan, because this is their plan. Okay. To take over the Middle East, and once they do that, that's going to establish this false new world order they have. All right. Now, okay, let's see. Iran. Now, this is from blacklistednews.com, which is Iran and 9/11 down the rabbit hole of blame. Because now, like I said, they're going to try to establish some kind of attack to go into Iran. All right. So it says here, it says largely unreported and unknown to almost everyone is the recent push to reestablish an Iranian role in the 9/11 attacks. To be more specific, some in Washington are currently trying to allege that Iran played a larger role in the 9/11 attacks than the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Why this assertion about Iran? That has been lying fallow for years. It's so recently being resurrected raises questions, bears scrutiny, and begs an examination. All right. Now, let's see if I can find. Because basically what they're doing is they're trying to establish, they're trying to basically plant and blame 9/11 on Iran now, which is going to give them a reason to go in there. Which this is what the so-called Jews want Israel to do. All right? Okay? It's a pretty long article. I'm gonna get this is basically all the steps that they took to plant evidence and things like that. But this is mainly the point of the article. Okay, they want to trace Iran back to 9/11, and they want to blame them. Okay, and right, it says preface here. It says, given the new attempt to use documents called fake linking Iran and 9/11, this piece is timely indeed. Okay, you know, so basically, this is what they want to do. Okay? Alright? They want to establish Iran as taking part or having a larger role in the attacks. And this is what's going to lead them over there into the Middle East. Now, let's deal with this matter, alright, of World War III. Right, now let's go into Bible prophecy. It says North Korea, and this is from newsrepublic.net. It says North Korea and Iran could destroy U.S. in nuclear war. Pastor issues chilling warning. Now this is what these pastors are saying, because it's in the scriptures. And for the past 10 years, us at GMS, all right, we've been telling you about these things in the scriptures. Okay. Right? Now it says, according to Pastor Lori, God revealed the hidden secrets of the tragic end of the U.S. to him while he was reading prophetic Bible passages. Yeah, while watching a GMS video. That's what they didn't add in there. But it says while he was meditating on the significance of the prophecies, he suddenly realized that none of the passages talked about a superpower nation existing in the time leading to the apocalyptic end of the world, when the final battle of Armageddon will occur. Yet today we have the U.S. as the sole superpower nation in the world. Okay? It says, now, however, Lloyd notes in the video that the biblical end-time prophecies also do not mention North Korea and its leader, Kim Jong-un. He points out that instead of North Korea, the Bible talks about Iran. It says, Lloyd's conclusion, based on the alleged evidence of biblical prophecy, is that North Korea is not mentioned specifically in the end-time prophecies because the country will be allied with Iran in the last days, and that's through Russia. Okay. It says, according to Lloyd, wherever the Bible mentions Iran in its end-time prophecies, it could be referring to a coalition of countries led by Iran, and North Korea is one of the countries in the axis of evil coalition led by Iran. And that includes Russia and its allies, because that's true. Okay? That's true. All right. Everything, everything is coming ahead. This is from Express.co. Now UK. It says World War III warning: threat of nuclear crisis at highest level since Cold War. It says the threat of a nuclear catastrophe is at its highest level since the Cold War, amid plummeting relations between Washington and Moscow and the ongoing posturing from North Korea and Iran, according to a former U.S. Defense Secretary. Okay? Right? It says increasing terror threats across the world and the erratic behavior of U.S. President Trump were touted as reasons for the heightened fears across the world by speakers at the International Luxembourg Forum on Preventing Nuclear Catastrophe in Paris. William Perry, who served as the U.S. Secretary of Defense for 3 years under President Clinton, said that the U.S. and Russia have entered a new Cold War. He said, "We are beginning a new Cold War with the worst possible outcome, a nuclear war between the U.S. and Russia. Relations today between the U.S. and Russia are comparable to the dark days of the Cold War. How could we have let that happen?" And that's because of biblical prophecy. That's because of the prophecies. All right. I got one more article. This is from the JordanTimes.com, and it's the U.S. plan to isolate Iran. All right. It says the resignation of Lebanese Prime Minister Saad Hariri 2 weeks ago is an indicator of a potential local escalation with Hezbollah and regional escalation with Iran. The expectation of an imminent escalation with Hezbollah has been there for months, as the end of the crisis in Syria was likely to turn regional focus to the Iranian-backed group. All right? So they're ready to go to war. Okay? It says Israel is clearly interested in confronting Hezbollah, but not in open confrontation yet. The intelligence war is still sufficient for Israel and could show Israel's concerns with the progress the Lebanese party has made. Now, in the previous article, it mentioned about Lebanon, Syria, and Iran. So now that you got Syria coming out the way, you got Lebanon out the way, Iran's the next target. All right. This is why you have to be up on geopolitics. Okay, you got to watch as well as pray, because your prophecies is coming, man, coming to pass quickly. It says Hezbollah has been expecting the focus to be placed on its activities and power following any resolution in Syria, and as such has launched an internal propaganda program promoting the coming battle as Armageddon and preparing its believers for it. The U.S. and its allies launch a strategy to isolate Iran, but they must ensure its long-term viability with a clear and substantial roadmap in order to prevent clever and influential Iran from turning the outcome to its advantage as it did in Iraq, Lebanon, and Syria. The U.S. and its allies must be careful and strategic. Otherwise, the U.S.'s regional allies will pay the price of any failure. So you can see things are coming to pass. And Israel is ready to go ahead and make a strike. But they need America to back them up. You know? But things are going to happen. You're going to start seeing a lot more tensions and meetings between the Trump administration and those gutter rats over there in the land of Israel, Amalek. And things are going to start happening, man. All right? Things are going to start happening. Okay? All right? Okay? So let's go here to the Apocrypha. Let's go to 2 Numbers 15 and 28. It says, Behold, an horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. It says also the Carmanians, which the Carmanians, if you look up Carmania and go into the history of Carmania, those were Iran. Carmania and Iran is synonymous with each other. Okay, so once these Arab nations start rising up, Iran is going to be along with them. Okay, it says also the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. Because nuclear missiles are going to be shot. All right. All right. Over here to America. America is also known as Assyria. And that's going to be the end, man. All right. This is verse 31. It says, And then shall the dragons, which is talking about the Arabs, Ishmael, all right, and the people over there in the Middle East, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature, and they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. Then these shall be troubled and keep silence through their power, and shall flee. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them and consume some of them, and then their host shall be fear and dread of strife among their kings. So this is the battle of Armageddon. This is what's getting ready to take place. Okay? This is what's getting ready to take place. All right? World War III is at hand. It's inevitable. Okay? Pay attention to Israel in the news, Iran in the news. See what Russia, America's doing. Continue to pay attention to North Korea. Because all of this goes hand in hand with the prophecies in the scriptures. All right? Let's see. I don't think I had any more. Had about 6, 7 articles I wanted to get into. But yeah, World War III is coming. It's a warning. All right. A war between Iran and Israel is only a matter of time. Yo, we're at that time now. Okay, we're at that time. All right. Let's go to 2 Numbers 16 and 1. It says, Woe be unto thee, Babylon and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. So the destruction of America is at hand. Okay, the destruction of the so-called Jews and the white man's power structure, the power of Edom. The Most High said, they shall build, but I shall throw down. Okay? That's getting ready to happen. It said, a sword is set upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood, or may one quench the fire in stubble when it hath begun to burn? May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer? The mighty Lord, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? Because Yahweh Bashem Shai is raising up this last war to destroy the heathen and put his people, the Israelites, back in power. It says, the earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fish thereof also before the Lord, and before the glory of his power. All right? So with that, hope brothers were edified. Just continue to pay attention to what's going on in prophecy and in the news. We're almost out of here. It's the end of 2017. We're getting ready to go in 2018. A lot more death and destruction is going to happen. So continue to be diligent. Until the next time,